Let Allah handle what you can't. Watch Him humble your enemies. You weren't sent here by accident. Something in your soul has been heavy for a long time. The betrayal you didn't deserve, the silence that broke you, the people who smiled at your pain and walked away like nothing happened. You've prayed for Allah to expose them. You've begged for justice. You've cried asking, Ya Allah, when will it stop? But tonight, Allah wants you to hear this. You don't need to lift a sword. You don't need to defend your name. You don't need to fight the noise, because when Allah decides to defend you, He humbles your enemies without you saying a word. The same people who mocked your downfall will one day watch your rise and whisper, how did they survive that? They won't understand that what protected you wasn't strength, wasn't strategy, wasn't revenge. It was silence guided by Allah. So if you've been losing sleep wondering why Allah hasn't acted yet, stay till the end, because what you'll hear in this 1 hour might just explain every unanswered prayer, every painful goodbye, and every silent night you thought He ignored. Allah hasn't forgotten you. He's just been writing a story that ends in a way your enemies will never see coming. This is not just another reminder. This is the moment your heart understands what let Allah handle what you can't truly means. Sit back, breathe. Because when Allah writes your victory, He makes sure the whole world reads it. When Allah steps in, He turns injustice into minnam. My dear brothers and sisters, there are days when you wake up and wonder why life feels unfair. You try to be kind, yet people still find reasons to doubt you. You stay quiet, yet somehow you are painted as the problem. You give your best, and still someone finds a way to twist it into something ugly. You look at the sky and whisper, Ya Allah, what did I do wrong? And in that silence, He answers through the calm that follows your tears. You did nothing wrong. You simply reached the stage where He wants to teach you how to rely only on Him. When Allah loves you, He doesn't protect you from pain. He protects you through it. He removes the fake so that you can recognize the real. He takes away support so that you can taste what dependence on Him feels like. You think you are being abandoned, but in reality, you are being chosen for something deeper. You see, not every loss is punishment. Sometimes it's preparation. When people walk away, Allah steps closer. When doors close, He begins designing one you didn't even know existed. And when the world misunderstands you, He writes understanding into the hearts that truly matter. There will be moments when your name is spoken in rooms you never entered. They will assume, they will gossip, they will judge, but your silence will be your shield and your patience will be your prayer. Allah will make your calmness louder than their noise. He watches every tear that falls before it touches your pillow. He sees the trembling hands that wipe them away. He knows the words you could have said but chose not to. And He counts every second you stayed quiet for His sake. None of that is wasted. Not a sigh, not a heartbreak, not a lonely night. Everything is being written in the book of divine justice. And when the time comes, He will turn the very pain that silenced you into the platform that lifts you. People will wonder how you healed. They will wonder how you still smile. And they will wonder how the one they tried to break walks with such peace. That is the beauty of divine elevation. It doesn't make noise. It happens slowly, quietly, while everyone else is busy underestimating you. Then one day, without warning, they see it, you glowing differently, speaking with calm authority, living with a heart so peaceful that no rumor can disturb it anymore. Allah doesn't need to humiliate your enemies to honor you. He can raise you in such a way that their insults lose power. He can make your silence more eloquent than their speeches. He can make your peace more admired than their success. Sometimes He will even use them as tools to build you. Every attack, every rejection, every insult, all of it becomes material in the hands of His mercy. You think they are hurting you, but in truth, they are shaping you for something greater. Maybe you were supposed to stay hidden until your heart was purified. Maybe he delayed your recognition so that your character would be stronger than your platform. Maybe he wanted to teach you that respect earned by patience lasts longer than respect demanded by force. And when that realization sinks in, you stop chasing fairness from people. You stop trying to make them see your side. You start to understand that peace is not when everyone agrees with you. Peace is when you no longer need them to. That's when the story begins to change. The same situations that once broke you now make you smile. The same people who caused you sleepless nights now no longer occupy your mind. You begin to see the wisdom behind every delay. You realize that the silence of Allah was not neglect, it was planning. You remember the nights you cried thinking no one saw, but He saw. You remember the days you felt alone thinking no one cared, but He cared. You remember the times you almost gave up thinking the pain would never end, but He was holding your soul steady the entire time. Every unseen moment of faith became a seed of your future peace. Every time you forgave someone who didn't deserve it, He lifted you. Every time you stayed silent when you could have exposed someone, He recorded it as worship. Every time you smiled while breaking inside, He added another layer of light around your heart. And now, the same tears that once weakened you have become your armor. The same loneliness that once scared you has become your training ground. The same injustice that once crushed you has become the proof that Allah Himself intervenes when no one else can. He doesn't need to announce His justice. He simply rearranges your life in ways that show His power. He lets the same people who spoke against you witness the beauty of what patience can create. He lets the same place where you were humiliated become the stage of your honor. So the next time someone tries to ruin your peace, smile gently, because they don't know they're not your threat, they're your test. And every test passed with patience becomes an elevation written directly by Allah. He sees you. He has always seen you. Their hatred is a test of your heart, not your worth. My dear brothers and sisters, there will come a day when you realize that not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Some people will clap when you fall. Others will sit quietly, pretending not to notice your pain, yet secretly enjoy watching you struggle. And there will be those who, without reason, carry dislike toward you simply because your light reminds them of the darkness they never faced within themselves. It hurts, doesn't it? You ask yourself again and again, what did I do wrong? Why do they hate me? You replay every moment, every word, every act of kindness, trying to find the mistake. But the truth is, sometimes hatred is not a reflection of your flaws. It's a reflection of their wounds. You can be gentle, respectful, and sincere and still be disliked. You can help, forgive, and give and still be betrayed. Because hatred doesn't always come from something you did. It often comes from what you carry. Peace they cannot understand. Light they can't stand to see. So when you find yourself surrounded by jealousy or judgment, do not let it poison your soul. That's the real test. The test is not their behavior, it's your reaction. Will you let bitterness replace kindness? Will you let anger destroy your calm? Or will you stay steady, trusting that Allah sees every unseen moment? Sometimes He allows you to be disliked so that you can learn pure intention. He strips away false approval to purify your motives. He teaches you to do good for His sake alone, not for applause. Because as long as you depend on people to recognize your worth, you'll always feel wounded when they don't. But once you anchor your heart to Him, the world can turn its back and you'll still stand tall. You might notice how quiet hatred can be. It hides behind polite words and smiles that don't reach the eyes. It appears as silence when you succeed and whispers when you stumble. You'll sense it before you hear it. And that's where your discipline begins, in choosing to forgive the ones who never apologized, to pray for those who whispered against you, and to keep your peace no matter how much they try to disturb it. Remember, you are not here to control people's hearts. You are here to protect your own. And the moment you realize that, you win. Because nothing weakens those who hate you more than watching you stay kind. There is a story that repeats itself in every generation. Good people misunderstood, gentle souls attacked, truth turned into gossip. Yet every time, patience becomes the shield that outlives the noise. Your calmness is not weakness, it is strength wrapped in wisdom. When someone tries to make you angry, they are actually trying to steal your light. Don't give it to them. Smile even if your heart trembles. Respond with silence, even when your mind burns with words. Each second of restraint is an act of worship because you are choosing Allah's approval over your ego's satisfaction. The hardest moment is when the hatred comes from those you loved. It's easy to ignore a stranger's opinion, but when it comes from family, friends, or people you trusted, it cuts deeper. You sit awake at night, remembering the good you did for them. And the more you remember, the more the pain grows. But know this, Allah saw the purity of your heart in every act they forgot. He recorded the intentions they ignored. He will return it to you in ways they will never understand. When you hear lies about yourself, stay calm. Truth doesn't need you to scream, it just needs time. The same people who believed those lies will one day witness your sincerity. And that silent moment of realization will be heavier than any argument you could have made. You will also notice that hatred grows weaker when it goes unanswered. It feeds on your reaction. So when you stop reacting, it starts to starve. Let them talk. Let them twist. Let them invent their stories. Your peace is the loudest truth you can ever speak. Allah never tests you with hate to destroy you. He tests you with hate to define you. He wants to see if you will still choose compassion in the face of cruelty, if you will still pray for those who plot against you, if you will still believe that mercy is stronger than revenge. And when you do, something amazing happens. You become untouchable. Their words stop piercing you. Their actions stop shaking you, because your heart is no longer reacting from pain, it's responding from faith. You begin to look at them differently. You start seeing them as souls that are lost, not enemies to defeat. You start realizing that maybe Allah is using you as a mirror for them to show them what peace looks like, to awaken guilt they've long buried. And sometimes your forgiveness becomes the reason they finally turn back to goodness. So don't underestimate the power of responding to hate with grace. It might not change them, but it will always change you. You'll sleep lighter, you'll smile easier, and your prayers will sound softer because you'll no longer be begging for revenge, you'll be asking for peace. When you live this way, you realize how small people's opinions really are. You stop walking on eggshells, afraid to offend anyone. You stop trying to please those who were never pleased with themselves. You start living for truth, not applause. You start serving Allah quietly, knowing that the same one who sees your efforts will one day reward them publicly. And when that day comes, all the whispers will fade, because the light of sincerity can't be covered forever. The more you let go, the more Allah takes over. My dear brothers and sisters, there comes a moment in every believer's life when the weight becomes too heavy to carry. You've tried everything, spoken the truth, held on with patience, cried in the quiet of the night, yet the situation still doesn't change. That's when Allah gently teaches you the hardest and most beautiful lesson. You are not meant to control everything. You hold so tightly because you fear that if you loosen your grip, everything will fall apart. But the truth is, the more you try to hold on to what's slipping, the more it hurts. You cut your own hands on what Allah has already decided to remove. And only when you finally release it do you realize it wasn't yours to save. Letting go is not giving up, it's giving it to Him. It's saying, Ya Allah, I've done my part, now I surrender the rest to you. Think about how much peace you lose when you replay the same wound again and again. How many nights you've wasted trying to understand why someone changed, why life turned this way, why your efforts failed. But sometimes Allah hides the answer because knowing it would keep you attached to the wrong thing. He removes the explanation so you can seek Him instead. When you stop questioning why, you start feeling who, and that who is Allah. That's the shift. From confusion to trust, from fear to faith. Every story of pain has a moment where surrender becomes your freedom. Yusuf, peace be upon him, found peace in the well long before he reached the palace. Not because the pain ended, but because his heart stopped resisting the plan. The more you let go of how you thought life should be, the more room you create for what Allah knows it needs to be. Sometimes He doesn't change your situation because He's using the situation to change you. He wants to loosen your grip on people who were never meant to carry your heart. He wants to break attachments that silently ruled over your peace. He wants to free you from the illusion that you were ever in control. Letting go can look like sitting in silence when you want to argue. It can look like walking away when everything in you wants to stay. It can look like forgiving when your heart is still aching. But every act of release becomes an act of worship. Because in that release, you're saying, I choose faith over fear. And then something begins to shift. The burden that felt unbearable starts to feel lighter, not because the problem is solved, but because your heart is no longer fighting the decree. Allah replaces panic with peace, restlessness with reliance. He begins doing for you what you couldn't do for yourself. When you let go, He takes over in ways you never imagined. He sends ease from directions you didn't even know existed. He places the right words in your mouth at the right time, the right people on your path in the right season. You start to see His fingerprints in every delay, His wisdom in every no, His mercy in every closed door. That's the beauty of surrender. It doesn't make sense at first, but later it makes perfect sense. You might remember a time when you begged for something that never happened. At that moment you were heartbroken, but years later you see it clearly that unanswered prayer was protection. Allah was never rejecting you, He was redirecting you. So don't be angry when something slips away. Don't assume you lost control. Maybe you were just never meant to carry it that far. Sometimes Allah removes what blocks the next stage of your growth. He empties your hands so He can fill them with something better. When you finally stop chasing closure from people, you begin receiving clarity from Allah. When you stop replaying conversations, you start hearing divine whispers of reassurance. And when you stop clinging to what is leaving, you make space for what is coming. The process of letting go will always feel like breaking at first. Your heart will fight it, your mind will resist it, because human nature fears the unknown. But Allah is in that unknown. That's where miracles live. That's where the believer meets the unseen help that arrives exactly when everything seems impossible. Every no you face is Allah making room for a bigger yes. Every delay is a protection you haven't recognized yet. Every ending is a hidden beginning. And when you look back later, you'll smile at how desperately you tried to hold on to something that was never good for you. You'll thank Allah for the heartbreak that led to healing, for the confusion that led to clarity, for the loneliness that taught you how to stand. So, my brothers and sisters, do not fear letting go. Fear holding on to what's harming your peace. Fear trusting your plan more than His. Patience is the silent sword of the believer. My dear brothers and sisters, there are seasons in life when everything feels slow. You pray, you try, you give your best, yet nothing moves. You watch others move ahead while you seem stuck in the same place. And you begin to wonder, did Allah forget me? But He didn't forget. He's teaching you the art that only the strongest hearts can learn patience. Patience is not a quiet face hiding a storm. It is a heart whispering, my Lord knows, my Lord sees, my Lord decides. When you choose patience, you are not standing still. You are walking a path that the world cannot see. Every moment you hold your tongue instead of fighting back, every tear you hide instead of cursing fate, it rises to heaven as proof of your trust. Patience is not weakness. It is the courage to wait without bitterness, to be calm when chaos surrounds you, to smile when your soul trembles. It's easy to be peaceful when life is smooth, but true believers shine when life shakes them. Because patience is not built in comfort, it's built in delay, in pain, in silence. You might be praying for something again and again, a job, a person, a door to open. And when it doesn't, frustration creeps in. You start to feel invisible, yet every not yet from Allah carries mercy you cannot see. He is preparing you while you wait. He is removing what would have harmed you. He is shaping you into the version that can handle the gift when it arrives. So don't mistake waiting for wasting. The seed doesn't see the sunlight while it's buried, but that darkness is the beginning of its growth. The same way, your delay is not punishment. It's protection wearing the disguise of silence. Patience turns your pain into polish. It softens your heart instead of hardening it. It teaches you compassion for others who suffer quietly. Because once you've waited long enough, you start to see the beauty in every slow step. Sometimes Allah doesn't rush because He wants you to learn endurance. He wants you to build spiritual muscles that can carry blessings without breaking under them. He knows that quick gifts fade fast, but rewards that arrive after patience last a lifetime. Patience is the sword that cuts arrogance without drawing blood. It destroys your enemies not by harm but by your dignity. They expect anger, you show calm. They expect revenge, you offer silence. They expect your collapse, but you rise with peace they cannot disturb. That's the power of patience. Every time you hold back from reacting, you disarm 1,000 evils. Every time you choose peace over pride, you win a battle unseen by this world, but celebrated in the next. People will think you're being passive, but Allah knows you're holding the heaviest weapon, self-control. He knows what it takes to stay kind when others provoke you. He knows how hard it is to trust Him when everything screams, do something. And because He knows, He rewards silently but immensely. My brothers and sisters, remember this. Patience does not mean doing nothing. It means doing everything right and waiting for the right result. It means watering the seed even when you see no sign of growth. It means believing that what's meant for you will never pass you by, and what passes you by was never written for you. So, if you are waiting today, waiting for healing, for justice, for change, don't let impatience steal the beauty of this moment. Every second of restraint is being counted. Every silent, Ya Allah, help me, is heard louder than your cries. He is closer in your waiting than in your winning. Because waiting is worship when the heart refuses to lose hope. Patience is the bridge between dua and destiny. Without it, the two never meet. So when you feel restless, don't rush to change your prayer. Just renew your faith that it's already on its way. Even when nothing moves, something is happening. Every minute of patience rearranges the unseen. People may not notice, but the heavens do. And the one who learns to wait gracefully becomes unstoppable. Because patience makes you move with Allah's timing, and His timing never fails. When Allah delays justice, He's perfecting your victory. My dear brothers and sisters, there are nights when you lie awake staring at the ceiling, replaying everything that went wrong. You think about the words they said, the way they twisted truth, the silence of those who could have defended you but didn't. You whisper, where is justice? And the room stays quiet. That quiet can break you unless you understand that silence is not absence. It is Allah's way of saying, wait, I'm not finished writing your story yet. The hardest test of faith is not pain, it's patience in the face of unfairness. It's walking through humiliation without losing your heart. It's hearing lies about you and choosing not to repeat them. It's trusting that the author of time knows exactly when to reveal the truth. Sometimes Allah withholds justice because He's building it piece by piece. He allows events to unfold slowly so that when He finally acts, no one can deny that it was Him. He doesn't just clear your name, He clears the air, the doubts, the illusions, the fake friends. You may look around and see the wrong people celebrating. They seem to be winning. Their lives look untouched, while yours is filled with wounds. But remember, the end of the movie always explains the beginning. Allah is not rushing because He's setting the stage for a perfect ending. If He punished instantly, hearts wouldn't be exposed. By delaying, He allows arrogance to grow until it reveals itself completely. Then when He acts, His justice becomes a lesson for everyone who watched silently. He did this with generations before us. He lets power blind the oppressor until they hang themselves with their own rope. He lets them build their thrones on lies so that when He removes one stone, the whole structure collapses. And while that's happening, He's healing you. He's polishing the believer who suffered. He's teaching you empathy, endurance, humility, qualities that only grow in the soil of pain, because the victory of the believer is never just about triumph, it's about transformation. Look closely at your waiting period. Can you see how it's changed you? You used to panic, now you pause. You used to seek revenge, now you seek peace. You used to need people, now you need only Him. That is not loss, that is growth disguised as delay. The delay is the proof that He still sees you worthy of molding. He doesn't ignore those. He plans to raise, He trains them, He refines them. He sends small tests to prepare them for great blessings. Each time you endure another injustice without revenge, the sky records it. Each time you cry without complaining, your soul is washed clean. Each time you pray while feeling forgotten, the unseen angels are whispering, hold on, the command is near. Justice delayed by people is injustice, but justice delayed by Allah is divine precision. He waits until every witness, every word, every circumstance aligns. He makes the timing so perfect that when it arrives, even your enemies admit it was destiny. So do not rush the one who is never late. If He hasn't answered yet, it means the masterpiece is still in progress. And you, my brother, my sister, are still being shaped into the person who can carry that victory without pride. Sometimes you think you want justice, but what you really want is relief. Allah knows the difference. He won't give you something temporary when He can give you something eternal. He's not only restoring your peace, He's rewriting your legacy. When Allah brings justice, it's never just about the people who hurt you. It's about everyone who watched, everyone who doubted, everyone who learned from your patience. He turns your pain into a public classroom where others learn what real faith looks like. So if you are in that stage right now, the waiting, the silence, the ache, please don't think you've been forgotten. You're in the workshop of victory. The hammer that's breaking you is the same one shaping your crown. And when He's done, you'll realize that His delay was not cruelty, it was care. He delayed justice so that when He delivers it, it won't just clear your name, it will cleanse your heart. You won't rise bitter, you'll rise beautiful. You won't rise loud, you'll rise luminous. You'll carry peace that no revenge could ever give. That is what it means when Allah perfects your victory. It's not about seeing them fall, it's about watching yourself rise without hate. Your dignity is your shield in the battle of egos. My dear brothers and sisters, there are moments in life when silence speaks louder than shouting. You will stand in front of people who twist your words, people who provoke you just to see you fall, people who live on drama because peace exposes their emptiness. In those moments, your dignity becomes your protection. Dignity is not pride. It's the calm awareness that your value was never up for debate. It's knowing that the one who gave you honor does not take it away just because someone tries to insult you. Sometimes Allah will let people test your ego so that He can polish your soul. He will send someone who talks down to you, who mocks your kindness, who tries to pull you into arguments that serve no purpose. He is not trying to humiliate you, He is teaching you how to rise above. Each time you hold your peace, instead of fighting for approval, you build invisible armor. That armor is called dignity. It protects you from the wounds of words, from the poison of comparison, from the trap of proving your worth. When someone shouts, "Who do you think you are?" smile quietly inside, because you know exactly who you are. A servant of the most merciful, not a player in the circus of egos. You see, ego wants to win arguments. Dignity wants to win hearts. Ego wants to be seen right now. Dignity is willing to wait until Allah reveals the truth Himself. Ego shouts, "Look at me." Dignity whispers, "He sees me." That difference changes everything. Think of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When people mocked him, he didn't compete for applause. He walked away with grace, because dignity is not silence born of weakness. It's silence born of certainty. When you know that Allah defends those who stay sincere, you don't need to fight every rumor. You don't need to chase every misunderstanding. You simply stay consistent and let time expose the truth. My brothers and sisters, there is a kind of peace that only the dignified feel. The peace of sleeping at night with a clean conscience. You can't buy that peace with arguments. You can't earn it by humiliating others. It comes only from knowing that you didn't let anyone drag you down to their level. People who attack your character are often fighting their own reflection. They see something in you that unsettles their ego. Maybe it's your calmness, your sincerity, your light. Instead of learning from it, they try to break it. Don't take it personally. They are not your enemies, they are your lessons. When you stay quiet in front of disrespect, you're not losing, you're learning. Allah is training your tongue to be merciful, your heart to be patient, your soul to be resilient. Each insult that you don't reply to becomes a brick in the fortress of your maturity. There will be times when your silence will confuse people. They will think you have no response. But Allah will make your silence echo louder than their shouting ever could. He will make your calmness look like strength and their arrogance look like desperation. And when that happens, you'll realize why He told you not to react. You'll see that He was protecting you from stains that never wash off. Ego fights for attention. Dignity seeks elevation. Ego says, "I'll show them." Dignity says, "I'll show patience." Every moment you hold back from proving your worth, Allah proves it for you. Every time you say nothing while others gossip, He writes it as worship. Every time you walk away from drama, He opens a door somewhere else that noise could never lead you to. When you learn this, you stop begging to be understood. You stop explaining your goodness to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop shrinking yourself to fit small conversations. You start preserving your energy for things that matter, your peace, your prayer, your purpose. My dear brothers and sisters, never lower yourself to win a fight. Because every time you step into the mud, even if you win, you're still dirty. Let Allah handle what pride wants you to fix. Because He doesn't just clean your reputation, He elevates it beyond reach. True dignity is invisible strength. It's walking away when your ego screams, "Stay." It's forgiving when your pride says, "Never." It's letting Allah be your voice when you're tired of explaining. If you've ever been in a situation where people mocked your calmness, remember they're revealing their weakness, not yours. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. They are simply the most fearful. But those who carry dignity walk with quiet confidence because they know their honor is in safe hands. Allah protects those who protect their tongues. He defends those who refuse to humiliate others. He raises those who choose humility when insulted. And when He raises you, He does it so gracefully that you won't need to announce it. People will just notice how your name returns to respect, how your silence begins to glow, how your peace becomes louder than their gossip. That's the moment you'll understand. Dignity was never about being right. It was about being righteous. It was about trusting Allah enough to let go of the last word. It was about walking away with grace while others tripped over their pride. My dear brothers and sisters, when you walk through life holding your dignity, you are not weak, you are protected. You are carrying something rare in a world that confuses loudness with strength. And every day you choose restraint, you sharpen that shield a little more. There will be days when your silence feels heavy. You will sit alone thinking, if I just spoke once, if I just exposed the truth, everyone would know. But you will stop yourself not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Because you'll realize that the moment you drop to their level, you lose the very thing that made you different. Let Allah do the talking through time. He has ways of revealing the truth without you saying a word. A single turn of events can undo years of lies. A single season can reverse everything that seemed unfair. And when that happens, your silence will look like foresight. Every argument avoided is a battle won. Every rumor ignored is a victory over ego. Every insult endured is a brick in the castle of your patience. You might not see it yet, but the dignity you preserve in private becomes your beauty in public. People will look at you and say there's something peaceful about that person. They won't know that it was forged in nights of self-control, in days when you swallowed pride, in moments when you could have chosen revenge but chose grace instead. And Allah sees all of it. He records the moment you typed a message and deleted it before sending. He records the moment you walked away while your heart was on fire. He records the moment you chose tears over words. And each one becomes light that surrounds you, unseen but powerful. Never confuse silence with weakness. A quiet heart can shake mountains. A calm spirit can defeat armies of gossip. When people throw stones at you, build steps with them. When they try to make you small, grow so silently that their hate turns into confusion. There is a kind of victory that doesn't make noise. It's the victory of self-respect. It's when you look at yourself in the mirror and feel peace because you know you didn't let bitterness change who you are. My brothers and sisters, your dignity is not just for others, it's for yourself. It keeps your heart clean so you can still pray with softness. It keeps your soul light so you can still smile without pretending. It keeps your mind clear so you can still think about your purpose instead of revenge. One day Allah will show you why He asked you to stay quiet. He'll show you what He saved you from the humiliation that would have come if you had acted on anger, the endless chain of pride that would have stolen your peace. He'll let you see how He used your calm to teach others what real strength looks like. You will see the ones who provoked you crumble under the weight of their own arrogance. Not because you wished it, but because that's how ego ends, it consumes itself. And you will stand there, not laughing, not gloating, just whispering Alhamdulillah for peace. That's when you'll truly understand what it means for dignity to be a shield. It doesn't stop people from attacking, it stops their attacks from reaching your soul. It absorbs the pain and turns it into wisdom. It reminds you that you belong to a Lord who writes justice in silence. Sometimes your dignity will cost you relationships. You lose people who wanted you to fight, who wanted you to prove, who wanted you to beg. Let them go, because Allah will replace them with those who respect quiet strength, who value depth over drama, who see humility as beauty. Walk with your head high, not in arrogance, but in gratitude. You survived without lowering yourself. You chose grace when the world wanted chaos. You chose patience when pride begged for attention. That choice made you among the few who live with inner royalty hearts that bow only to Allah, not to their emotions. Dignity is your crown. It sits on your heart, not your head. It doesn't shine with gold, it glows with peace. It doesn't demand applause, it earns respect. And every time you protect it, Allah polishes it more. So, my brothers and sisters, the next time someone provokes you, remember this. You are not here to win temporary battles. You are here to win eternal peace. Let them shout, let them twist, let them misjudge. You just keep walking, praying, smiling. Because when Allah raises the dignified, no rumor can reach that height. He will defend you in ways you never imagined. A single moment of His favor will erase years of people's opinions. A single act of His mercy will make your silence louder than every accusation. In the end, dignity always wins. Not because it is loud, but because it is pure. And purity always rises slowly, quietly, beautifully until the world can no longer ignore it. So hold your head with humility, not pride. Hold your heart with patience, not anger. And hold your tongue with wisdom, not impulse. Let your calmness be your courage and your silence be your sword. Because when the world sees a believer who refuses to fight ego with ego, they witness a miracle, a soul guarded by Allah Himself. And that, my dear brothers and sisters, is what it truly means for your dignity to be your shield in the battle of egos, the quiet revenge of growth. My dear brothers and sisters, there comes a stage in life when you stop asking why people hurt you and start asking what Allah was teaching you. It's a quiet shift, a sacred moment when pain no longer feels like punishment but like preparation. You remember every betrayal, every door that closed, every time you were blamed for something you didn't do. For years you carried those memories like stones in your chest. But slowly, through prayer, through silence, through nights of tears that no one saw, you start to notice something new growing inside you, strength. It's gentle at first. You find yourself calmer during arguments. You smile when gossip reaches your ears because you've learned the truth doesn't need defending, it just needs time. And you realize this is growth. Growth is not loud. It doesn't announce itself on the day you forgive someone. It blooms quietly in the days you stop thinking about them. It's when you walk past the same people who once broke you and feel nothing. No anger, no revenge, just peace. That peace is your revenge, the kind that makes no noise, the kind that confuses those who expected you to stay bitter forever. You see, when Allah decides to honor you, He doesn't need to lower anyone else. He simply raises you in ways that make those who once mocked you realize that your silence was power all along. Remember those who laughed when you failed. He let them witness your success in ways that feel almost poetic, not to humiliate them, but to show you how perfectly He writes justice. Because Allah's justice isn't always loud thunder. Sometimes it's the quiet blooming of a healed heart. There was a time when you begged for closure. You wanted apologies, explanations, confessions, but Allah never gave you those, did He? Instead, He gave you maturity. He replaced the apology you never got with understanding, the explanation you never received with clarity, the closure you never found with peace. That's the quiet revenge of growth. It's when you no longer need anything from the people who hurt you. It's when your healing becomes the answer to every insult. Sometimes He delays your rise so that by the time He elevates you, you're no longer petty. You're too healed to hate, too peaceful to compete. You don't want them to fail anymore, you just want them to find the peace you found. That's divine growth. Every scar becomes a lesson, every wound a story, every rejection a redirection. The very things that were meant to destroy you end up defining you. And the people who tried to bury you realized too late they were only planting a seed. You bloom in front of their eyes, not with pride, but with gratitude. You no longer say, look at me. You say, look what Allah did with me. That humility becomes your beauty. You stop chasing attention because you've tasted alignment. You stop proving your worth because you've discovered your purpose. My brothers and sisters, that's what real revenge looks like. Not fire, but light. Not arguments, but achievement. Not shouting, but shining. Growth is quiet because it's pure. It doesn't demand to be seen, it simply becomes undeniable. Those who once insulted you now have to face their own reflection in your success. They'll watch you walk with peace and wonder, how did they forgive me? They'll see you smile and realize that the person they tried to break has become someone even they can't reach anymore. That's the justice of Allah. He doesn't destroy your enemies with lightning. He destroys their arrogance by letting them watch you rise with grace. And you don't celebrate their fall. You celebrate your peace, because by now you've learned that revenge loses meaning once you've healed. You no longer want them to suffer. You want them to wake up. You want them to find the same mercy that rescued you. That's when you know your heart has matured. It's no longer bleeding for closure, it's beating for purpose. You stop saying, why me? And start saying, thank you Allah for trusting me with this test. Because now you see what He was doing. He wasn't breaking you, He was building you. He was making you so grounded that no betrayal could shake you again. He let people walk away so you could learn to walk with Him. He let them misunderstand you so you'd find peace in being understood only by Him. He took away the crowd so you could hear His voice. That's not loss, that's divine rearrangement. There's beauty in being misunderstood by people but understood by Allah. There's beauty in being alone for a while if it means being found by peace later. And there's power in smiling through storms that were designed to drown you. You begin to realize every hardship, every delay, every rejection was really an appointment with growth. Allah was polishing you through pain, cleaning you through loss, upgrading you through patience. And now, when you look back, you whisper, if I had gotten what I wanted, then I would have missed what I needed now. That realization is liberation. It frees you from bitterness. You stop trying to change the past because you see that it was never a mistake, it was a map that led you here to this version of yourself, wiser, calmer, stronger, and closer to Allah than ever before. So if you are still in that painful stage, if you're still waiting for justice, still aching from betrayal, still wondering when peace will come, please know this, your growth is already your victory. You may not see it yet, but the transformation has begun. Every time you stay patient, every time you choose silence, every time you forgive, the soil of your soul grows greener. And soon, the same people who once questioned your worth will have to watch the garden of your peace bloom in front of them. My dear brothers and sisters, growth is a quiet revolution. It doesn't happen when the world is watching. It happens when you are alone with your thoughts, your tears, and your dua. It's forged in the moments when you feel forgotten, when you are sitting in the dark wondering if anything will ever make sense again. And then slowly, the storm inside you begins to calm. You realize that you are still here. You survived the nights that told you you wouldn't. You walked through the fire and discovered that it purified you instead of burning you. That is growth, the kind no one sees but everyone can feel when they meet you. You start noticing that your words are gentler, your anger softer, your thoughts clearer. You catch yourself blessing people who once betrayed you. You find gratitude where grief used to live. And that's when you know Allah has been working on you from the inside out. People often think growth is about achievements, new jobs, new homes, new followers. But the most beautiful growth is invisible. It's the ability to keep your peace in the same situations that once broke you. It's being able to stand in the same place where you once cried and this time feel calm. The quiet revenge of growth is that those who hurt you can no longer reach you, not because you've built walls, but because you've outgrown their world. Their words can't find you where Allah has taken you. They may still speak, but you no longer listen from the same place. You now understand that peace is not the absence of enemies, it's the presence of Allah. And when you live with that awareness, even the noise of the world becomes music. Think back to every heartbreak. You thought you'd never smile again, but now you smile deeper because you know your heart belongs to the one who healed it. You thought losing them would destroy you, but losing them brought you back to yourself. That too is growth. Growth is when you stop chasing what doesn't fit your soul. It's when you no longer try to force people to stay. It's when you bless their departure because you finally trust that what leaves was never meant to last. And in that letting go, you taste freedom. Allah's plan for your elevation was never about proving others wrong. It was about proving your faith right. He wanted you to see that His timing is worth waiting for. He wanted you to witness that every no was secretly a yes, but later. He wanted you to learn that true power is quiet because it comes from Him. One day you will stand in the light of your answered prayers and realize how necessary the darkness was. The same tears that once blurred your vision will have watered the garden of your destiny. And the same heart that once begged for justice will overflow with mercy. People will notice the change in you. They will whisper, something about them is different. They won't know that it's the result of nights you spent in surrender. They won't see the conversations you had with Allah when everyone else was asleep. But they will